Um, See, we'll start with Kuvalayananda today, but before that, I want to look at the question paper also to tell you how much of mark is given for each of those texts. We'll start with the Mangala. Amari Kabari Bharat Brahmari Mukhari Kritam Duri Karotu Duritam Gauri Charanapankajam Paraspara Tapassampat Paraspara Phalayitu Prapancha Mata Pitaro Prancho Jayapati Stumaha. So you have 4 texts in the Samartha Pariksha, paper 4. You have Chandraloka. So the second part is actually not there. Kuvalayananda is not there for your exam. So in the syllabus, they have only given you Chandraloka, Panchamayukha. So there are totally 10 Mayukhas, 10 chapters in the text Chandraloka written by Jayadeva. But we generally read only Kuvalayananda, that too one particular book, R.S. Vadiyar, because the alankaras that he has taken and given are the most common alankaras that you will find in kavyas also. And that is what is more exam focused. So that's why we go with the R.S. Vadiyar book. So instead of Chandraloka, we will be studying Kuvalayananda. The Dhatu Manjari has been given in some syllabus papers or some question papers say Dhatu Chandrika. No matter what, Dasha Gananam Dhatunam Dasha Lakareshu Rupani. That is your main thing that you need to know, which means you have to know the entire set of Dhatus and all that for this. Again, when you are attempting to write the exam, then you just look at the earlier question papers and go by what has been repeated. Invariably, they will repeat most of the questions for Dhatu Manjari here. Then you have Sarala Vyakaranam part 1. The classes for this are going on Saturdays morning 8 o'clock California time. So the videos are already there in on the YouTube. Usually I mix both English, Tamil and Sanskrit in that. If there are more people coming in, we will switch to English completely for that. But Sarala Vyakaranam is also there. It's a very simple text, but very voluminous.
When is this class?
Saturday mornings 8 o'clock.
So that is 6
California time. 10 o'clock.
Huh?
Okay.
10, yeah. Can you send me an invite?
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah.
Is it
for
like...
me too, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
We are already doing it halfway, so you can go over the earlier lessons. Not
okay.
I mean, not much is covered as such. You can go through that and you will understand. You can join with the rest. Okay.
And so you know how much you have done there?
20 class pannirken totally.
And you have done your class?
No. There are at least 20, 25 or maybe even 30 classes more, because I've still not covered samasa and all that. We are just in padam abhyayas. That's all. We have to again do the entire set of samasta padas and all that. So,
okay.
So is this more like Panini Sutras, etc.?
No sutras, nothing. It follows Linganushasanam, Amarakosha, those 2 texts. So you can have a look at the document and see.
I see.
So Linga Vivechanam, first would be what are all the Niyatalingas, Dvilingaka, Trilingaka, ityadi, and then what are the Shabdas. You have Vikarinaha and Avikarinaha Shabdaha. So Vikaris are what? And then Avikarinaha Shabdaha ityukte Abhyaya. Abhyayas are of many types. So that again, what are all the different types? You have Pradi, Chadi, that set. So it's just a listing. And then you have Lakshanika Vyayani, where you have Tadhitanta Vyayani. These are different. So he just goes on. It's like a grammar text, like Renan Martin for English. That's what it is.
I see. And how does Amarakosha play into it?
Lingam, Linga Nirvachanam and all
Lingam,
that.
You have Amarakosha, there's one
section there. Abhyayas also you have the Nanartha Varge, Abhyaya Vargaha iti asti in the Tritiya Kanda.
At the end, at the very end, Tritiya Kanda.
He follows that.
I see. It's very nice. Okay.
Yeah. And Shobha, you had a question?
Yeah, that Dhatu Manjari, that book is not there even in Vyoma website or here also in our... right?
Yeah. So this is not at all there. That's why I said you look at the question papers to understand what it could be. You know, in general, you have to know lakaras. If you look at the question paper, it will be easier, much more easier than what it is. Okay. Yeah. The second.
RS Vadir and Sons oda Dhatu Manjari irukke adu illaya idu.
அது வந்து ரொம்ப குறைச்சலா இருக்கும். It won't have all of the
Dhatu Manjari book of Chittoor
இருக்கு, but that is only part 1 which was there for இது Vichakshana, previous exam. So the part 2 is supposed to be for Samartha Pariksha. I have never seen this book in my life from the 80s, let me tell you. So we've never studied that book at all.
Okay.
So we just go by, whatever dhatu book that we can lay our hands on. That's what it is. So you can also look at attadhyay.com and look at it. So mostly common verbs are what they will ask. Yeah. Okay. And then the fourth one is Nibandhastabakam. This has a collection of 30 essays. So we will read those essays like how we read for Nibandhamala. We will read these also just for vocabulary and idea formation. For given topic, how do you formulate an essay? So it just gives you tips on how to write an essay based for the particular topic. You don't need to follow that verbatim. You can write your own essays as we did for Nibandhamala also. But this will give you more vocabulary exercises also. You'll come across usages, sentence constructs, which is very useful for that. And it also carries the most marks in the question paper. If we look at the question paper, so there are some 4 bhagas in this. Each portion is allotted for one text here. So if you see Chandraloka is given here, but we will be doing only Kuvalayananda. It carries only 16 marks for such a big volume and such an important book.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to pick out 2 alankaras, write lakshana and udaharanam for 8 marks. That is 1 alankara for 4 marks. Done. They're giving you 4 sentences wherein you'll have to identify which alankara that is and give the lakshanam for that alankara. So essentially, it will be easier if you memorize the lakshanas for the alankaras. Okay, at least for the main ones like upama, gaganam gaganakaram will be ananvaya alankara. In that manner, you need to know the principal alankaras, lakshanas of those principal alankaras and explain them. So that's it. Kuvalayananda carries very, very less marks. Nothing. It is only Sarala Vyakarana and the Nibandhastabakam that carry the most marks. In fact, Sarala Vyakaranam is the maximum. In Sarala Vyakaranam, I think we have finished this Parasmaipada and all. So the Dvitiya Bhaga, you have Sarala Vyakaranam 6 marks. And then if you look at this section for 12 marks, they will ask you all different dhatus with lakaras. And you'll be given a choice of write 6 out of 10. So they will even ask, you see, pat, ling and all is like simple one. Kr, lit lakara, bu, lit lakara. These are all very simple ones. That way, this is something which you can easily score. It's not much. So that is all for dhatu. That is why we don't have a separate book for it. And then this Tritiya Bhaga contains fully 38 marks for Sarala Vyakaranam. The last one is Nibandhastabakam. Again, the same way as we did for Nibandhamala had some 50 marks or something like that for Nibandham. In the same way here also you have a big chunk here, totally 28. You have to write 1 essay in Sanskritam and 1 essay in Matrabhasha, which is easier when compared to Nibandhamala where you had to write 2 and 2. Okay.
When we already wrote, we already read Samasa Kusumavali, right? It's kind of the same ground a little bit, right?
So there are a lot more of information in this. So you may need to look at that and then continue. I didn't want to talk about that class beforehand itself because I've been teaching it for more than 6 months now.
Okay.
Only 20 classes have happened. Because it's on a Saturday, most of the times it get cancelled and all that. So you can look at that book and then see.
Fine.
Yeah. And since you also have to write it in Sanskritam fully, it is not mentioned anything here. Only in this essay section, you have one essay that you need to write in Matrabhasha. From Samartha, if it is not mentioned, you have to write only in Sanskritam. It is the reverse. Until third exam, it was the other way around. If the language has not been mentioned, you can write it in Matrabhasha. It doesn't matter. But from Samartha exam, you have to write it in Sanskritam if the language is not mentioned. That is, all of these questions that they have asked here, Parasmai pada atmane pada pratyayanam vivaranam athava adhikaranakarakam sodaharanam likhata, all these have to be written in Sanskritam. Okay. So you need to prepare essays for these and keep it. As far as the question paper, I think it's a little clearer. Any questions with this? Okay. Now we'll move on to Kuvalayananda, the text.
Kuvalayananda, we have 50, right? 50 alankaras.
Around 50 alankaras. Plus, there might be some anubandha which I will teach. I also have an extra, some alankaras which have not are not there in the part 1 of Kuvalayananda. I have taken those from part 2 and I have given a anubandha also. We will do that too. I don't think I have uploaded that in the drive. I'll see. Not sure if I did.
Can you spend a couple of minutes on papers 1, 2 and 3?
Idhe madriya?
Yeah.
Innor naal pannalama? Can I do it on Tuesday?
You can come in. Because couple of things even I could not forget. Dhatu Chandrika. I did not get a very good text on Veni Samharam. Is there a textbook?
Yeah, I'll send. There is Vyoma has the I can, maybe I will do that right away and then we can move on.
If you can, you don't have to. You can help me with a copy of all the books for this if you have done or somebody has done.
Sure,
I could not find Veni Samharam.
Veni Samhara, the original text is there. PDF is there on Vyoma.
Okay.
You go to Chittoor Sabha textbooks course. There is a course called Chittoor Sabha textbooks.
I know that.
Then adula vandu on the left side there is a Veni Samhara PDF there.
Okay.
Yeah, it is there. 4-2.
Everything else I found. I could not find Veni Samhara.
4-3.
Is that a drama, right?
Yes, that's the drama. Veni Samhara is also the drama there.
Yeah, I got it. So one paper is completely on dramas. Okay.
Yes. So the first paper is supposed to be Gadyam paper, prose. It has a prose and a champu. So Gadya Sangraha and Champu Balakandam. The second paper is poetry, which has Kirata Arjuniyam and Niti Shatakam. 100 verses of Niti Shatakam. Then the third paper is Malavika Agnimitram and Veni Samhara. Only third act of Veni Samhara, whereas Malavika Agnimitram, you have the entire drama. Okay. There is one Sanskrit, Shobha Vasuki has done the whole thing in Sanskritam. So you can go over that also on Vyoma. Or mine will be in Tamil. You can check that out also. Okay.
So this is for Kovida?
Which one?
No, the same thing. Samartha.
Samartha. Okay.
What are you talking, madam? Can you repeat?
Malavika Agnimitram. Syllabus come to I will show you. Maybe that.
Yeah, in the course content description, right? You just have to update it from or keep a running list of all the papers and your Sanskrit from text video link. I could see your course on Gadya Sangraha.
Okay, so Gadya Sangraha, Champu Ramayanam and Kavi Jeevitani are first paper for Samartha. Gadya Sangraha is there on so I have a list called YouTube playlists and Vyoma playlists and all that in the Chittoor books drive itself. Should be
that
there.
Is what I was asking, if you could actually update it with Samartha content.
Pandliya?
It is there.
Yeah, I thought I did.
It is already there.
Okay, let me show that.
We can't see your screen.
1 minute. I'll share. So this is YouTube playlists and Vyoma links for most of the classes are here. Though Samartha, Gadya Sangraha, Tamil, This is a YouTube playlist. Champuramayanam, I have put in mine, which is Tamil, Balakandam, Sanskritam, Saumyas. Kavijivitani, there is supposed to be one course in Vyoma, but we will do it again. It's not so satisfying. Someone else has done it, but it's not completely based on Kavijivitani. It's totally different one. But we will do the text that is there, or you can read it on your own also. It's quite easy. Then Samartha paper 2 Kiratarjuniyam Tamil is there. There is another Sanskrit which Sujata Bala has done. You can check that out also. Niti Shatakam, there is only Tamil here. I don't know if Vyoma has done an English version of this. Possibly, Theriyadu. Malavika Agnimitram and Veni Samharam are both Tamil only. I think Malavika Agnimitram I need to update with Shobha Vasuki's link. I'll put that in. And then Veni Samhara is, there is Sujata Bala's Sanskrit version also. Okay. Kuvalayanandam will be doing now. Sarala Vyakaranam is going on. Mostly I teach in Sanskritam, English and Tamil. Once translation pandra madri I will be doing in that course. So you don't need to worry if there is too much of Tamil. Actually, I teach the whole thing in Sanskrit also and English also, mostly. Nibandhas Tabakam, there is an oft-repeated ones in Tamil already done. We will do the entire text in English now as we do it. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Since that is done. Okay.
You said the Gadya was mostly from Champuramayana? Or
Gadya Sangraha they have 10 lessons. There are 10 selections from different prose texts. So the first one is from Vetala Panchavimshati. The second one is from Dashakumara Charitam. There is one from Kadambari, one from Shivaraja Vijayam. In Madri, it is a selection from different places. So they have taken 10 different Gadyas. You should listen to the Tamil one. It's quite rumba effort போட்டு அது பண்ணேனா at one point. So yeah.
After this paper 4, do you plan to do 1, 2, 3 in English or
Shobha, if you want, I will definitely do it. Don't worry. I need someone as an audience who doesn't know Tamil. Then it prompts me to teach in English. No, otherwise it's I just keep slipping into Tamil so much. Sure.
What about others? They want it like other.
I mean, if you're doing any of the texts, like the major texts, I would love to sit in English as well.
I would love to do Gadyam again because Gadyam is something that I am.
I mean, I would love to be there. And
Sure, we can do that also. Yeah. We'll see how fast we can, or how it
like
goes.
It will be like. Are people going to take like 2 papers now or just 1 paper for next?
I have been suggesting only 1 paper, but some people are quite ambitious. You can do 4 and 2 together, and then 1 and 3 do it separately. Don't combine it with anything else. It will be very tough. 2 is easy because it's only shlokas and it's quite easy. You're used to the studying shloka methods, so it's quite easy to study on your own and do it also. Kiratarjuniyam and Niti Shatakam are quite easy texts that way. And we can cover it within 20-25 classes. It's not a big issue. If you are doing that, then we can see how much we can cover and then move on to that. Okay?
Niti Shatakam is something I've read before. Even here, this Kuvalayananda I've read before, and Vyakaranam I think I'll be fine. Nivadnastavakam is mostly essays, I'll be fine. I think 4 and 2 probably are easy. Kiratarjuniyam is new, but the first one and is probably going to be nice because I've been looking forward to reading Dashakumara Charitam for a long time, and
okay. Dashakumara Charitam fully would be for Vidya Bhushan. This you have only selections of Gadyas. So it's a nice one. Anyway. Okay. So we'll start with Kuvalayananda. Okay. So a small
in Chandraloka, there are 85 or 95 I see in the table of contents. But in Kuvalayananda 50, right? So
no, yeah.
is it
so Don't worry. You won't be asked more than these 50.
Okay.
As long as you know these, you are fine.
Even that is too much to remember for
yes.
me.
Even there, you just look at the question papers, earlier question papers, and then oft repeated ones are the best. Smriti, Mat, Parinama, all these are very quickly. The more you keep reading, the more you will remember them. You'll be fine. Yeah.
So if I'm not wrong, Chandraloka was written by Jayadeva, but it was something like a Kavya Prakasha kind of, covering the whole ambit of Kavya, not just Alankara. And Appayya Dikshita just takes one chapter in in Chandraloka, and he gives 100 or so in his Kuvalayananda, of which R.S. Vadyar has taken only 50 and made this small.
No, he has done all of them. R.S. Vadyar has taken all of them, but then the first part is only 50. It is, if you look at the book carefully, you will know that it has only 50. The second part has the rest of the
other. There is a second part, I see.
Yes.
Okay, but we are taking only the first part.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
And some alankaras in the second part also.
Yeah. Second part available also.
It is it is available. I don't know if it is available on archive, but it's available for purchase also from R.S. Vadyar publications. You can purchase it.
You have to tell him that you need it.
Okay.
They don't print it anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Part 1 is printed because of Chittoor.
Right. See, because of Chittoor, everybody reads it in this. Because the others read the original with the vritti of Appayya Dikshita. That's why. Very few people do this. Okay. So, Appayya Dikshita, you can read his biography that has been written by Dr. Rameshan. It's quite a comprehensive text that is available on archive also about the author. He lived in the 16th century. His birthplace is Adayapalam, very close to Kanchipuram and Vellore, between Vellore and Kanchipuram. That's where he was born. He's a great scholar. He is many subjects. He's covered many subjects. About 104 works he has covered. Not actually, his alankara shastra is only 3 texts, nothing much. Only Kuvalayananda, Chitramimamsa, and Vrittivartikam. These are the only 3 alankara texts out of the 104 texts that he has written. So he's focused more on Shivadvaitam, Advaita, Purvamimamsa. Other works are more written by Appayya Dikshita. Stotra granthas are just too many. If you look at the number of stotras he has written, it's just mind-boggling. Puja Vidhi also. He was a Vajpayee who performed yagas during his lifetime. So he's an expert in Purma Mimamsa also. Mantra Shastram. So his arrangement of how to do the worship of Shiva and all that is very interesting to look at. Itihasa Sangrahas. He has written a Ramayana Sara Sangraham and a Mahabharata Sara Sangraham, very much like the Bharata Sangraha that Lakshmana Suri has written. But his is in the shloka format. Lakshmana Suri has written it in the Katha format, which is very nice. And the famous one that we saw for the earlier exam was his Vyakhyanam for Yadavabhyudhayam. He has written a commentary for Vedanta Deshika's Yadavabhyudhayam. So the stotras are something which, I love Appayya Dikshita's stotras because it's like one, it's like that pinhole camera madri. It's like one small, he will give one half line, but that will allude to some 4 or 5 chapters in a huge Purana. So you will have to read some 4 or 5 chapters with 150 shlokas to understand what he means by this one adjective in the stotras. So it's like a teaser kind of thing or a trailer for the Puranas. So I've gone through some of his stotra granthas like Gangadhara Ashtakam or Durga Chandra Kalastuti. These are all like saramsha of what is there in the Puranas. And for us to understand this stotra, we have to go to the original Puranas. In fact, he has written Vyakhyanas to his own stotras like Ratnatraya Pariksha or Durga Chandrakala Stuti. He has written the Vyakhyana for his own stotras because he says others are not going to understand this properly. So let me do the Vyakhyanam for my own stotra. It's a very interesting personality that way. Another popular one, he has written a text called Atmarpana Stuti, where he has written 50 shlokas. It's also called Unmatta Panchashat, where he has pledged his entire family to Bhagavat Seva, Shiva Seva especially. He says, my entire family has been given to you. So we surrender as a family, both my entire lineage. Kulameva tatra iti. So many people in his family have been poets or Advaitins or philosophers. You have Nilakanta Dikshita, the most famous one. In that manner, the entire family is very gifted that way with both, and they take to Sanskritam very easily. Now, some of his texts came out only because of one of his descendants, Y. Mahalinga Shastri, and Sambashiva Shastri was after him. They brought out Appayya Dikshita's texts, which were in a manuscript format in their house. And that Y. Mahalinga Shastri was a great Sanskrit expert also. And he wrote Tamil translations for all of Appayya Dikshita's Stotra Granthas. He's a great scholar that way. The three texts that he has written are Kuvalayananda, Chitramimamsa, and Vrittivartikam. Vrittivartikam talks about Abhida, Lakshana, and Vyanjana, the three Vrittis. Chitramimamsa is an analysis text like Kabya Prakasha. It starts off with analyzing Uttama Kabya, Madhyama Kabya, and Adhama Kabya, and goes on to discuss certain alankaras, but it's not fully complete. Kuvalayananda is only an alankara text. So this Kuvalayananda starts off with the Chandraloka itself. That is why we read Kuvalayananda for Samartha. We don't go with Chandralokam because this is like a refinement of Chandraloka's fifth Mayuka. So the Mula Grantham here is Chandraloka, which has been written by Jayadeva a couple of centuries before, 4 centuries before Appayya Dikshita. This was the in the let's say in the timeline of Alankarikas, Jayadeva has a great position because he has compiled a lot more of alankaras, and he has also given the alankaras that people have given before. This is a text which is very similar to the Dandin's Kavyadarsha. So it is in the format of shlokas. It is explanatory the same way like Kavya Prakasha or anything. It has 10 chapters. Each chapter is devoted to, one is devoted to Madhyama Kavya, Uttama Kavya, etc., etc. The next one is for Dhvani. Then you have for Alankaras, Shabdalankara, then Arthalankaras. Shabdalankara and Arthalankara are found in the Panchamamayuka. Then you have Gunas, Dosha, etc., etc. So the 10 chapters, from those 10 chapters, we are only going to look at the Panchama Mayukam, which has 100 Arthalankaras and 8 Shabdalankaras. This is prescribed for Samartha, Chittoor Samartha text. Okay, so Samartha level exam. What Kuvalayananda, which is Appayya Dikshita, what he has done is, he has taken the lakshanas from Chandraloka for some of the alankaras. And then he has also created new lakshanas for certain alankaras. He has created new alankaras, which means he has created new lakshanas for the alankaras that he has created himself also. So in Kuvalayananda, you will find some of the old ones. You will find some of the old ones in a different format and new ones. So these are the 3 categories that you can separate the alankaras that are there in Kuvalayananda. Mainly Kuvalayananda discusses only Arthalankaras. Shabdalankaras, he will only talk about Shabdalankaras if it has any relevance or if it can be both Alankara, Arthalankara and Shabdalankara. For example, Shlesha. Shlesha, some people believe it is a Shabdalankara. Some people believe it is an Arthalankara. And some people give evidences that no, it is a Mishra Alankara. So only that section, he has only taken that. He has not discussed anuprasa or any of those things. So that way, for we will only be dealing with arthalankaras here. Okay, so the number of alankaras that he has are 100. This plus 4 plus 3 plus 8 and all are newer ones that he has taken from Hetu Alankara, etc. So the 4 plus 3 are actually Pratyaksha Alankara, Anumana Alankara, Shabda Arthapatti Alankara, Hetu Alankara. These are all based on modern Shastra's influences or other Shastra influences which are not found in Chandraloka. So he has taken the influence of other Shastras and made them into alankaras also, and those are 8 alankaras. Then he has the next number 8 that I've given here is you have the Rasavad alankaras, which are 8. These are a step higher with respect to Dhvani or Kavya Anubhava. These are called Rasavad alankaras. So you have 8 of those, Preya, Urjasvi, etc., etc. We are not going to read those also. Samsrishti and Sankara are also 2 types of alankaras. That is where 2 alankaras can come together, yet they are noticeably separate. Then it is called Samsrishti. Sankara is where those 2 are enmeshed together, that we are unable to find which is dependent on which, or sometimes this is dependent on that. This is called a Mishra Alankara. So totally he has described 117 alankaras. Okay. After Appayya Dikshita, if you look at other texts, there are even texts which come up with some 250 alankaras. So it's very difficult to remember all those alankaras and try to identify them in kavyas. Now the importance of Kuvalayananda, even though for the exam, it is only valued for 16 marks. You can omit this text completely and probably write only with the other 3 books. Still, it is very easy. A couple of things. One is, it is easy to score marks with this. All you need to know is the lakshana. The other thing is, it is very useful for kavyas. The beauty is enhanced because of the alankaras. Just as how alankara itself is a bhushanam, like the ornament which you wear, which enhances the body, in the same way the body of kavya is made up of shabda and artha. If you decorate or embellish the shabda, it is called a shabda alankara. If you embellish the artha, meaning you give it a certain different twist, then it becomes an artha alankara. It lends beauty to the kavyam. Instead of being a normal sentence that you talk in the world, it becomes a little more beautiful in the kavyam. So to recognize that, you need to understand the basis here. Only when you understand what are all these alankaras and how they apply in kavyam, the kavyam becomes more enjoyable. Otherwise, it's just, yes, even if there are no alankaras, we still enjoy the kavyam. That's so true. But then this knowing alankaras makes it more easier for us to understand. Okay. Now, I'll just share the text now, and we'll go over the text from now on. So what we are going to read is R.S. Vadyar's book, which has the Vyakhyana called Samanvaya. This Samanvaya has been written by T.K. Ramachandra. From Tirupanitura, he is the one who has written this Vyakhyana, but it's not a separate Vyakhyana that he has written. He has simplified the vritti of Appayya Dikshita. That is, Appayya Dikshita has taken the slokas from Chandraloka. Chandraloka does not give any explanation for those slokas in the form of vritti. Vritti is, you have like, what is that? Aka savarne dirgaha, right? So you have akaha, savarne, dirgaha, syat, achi pare. That is your vritti there, right? That is the explanation for the sutra. In the same manner here also, you have an explanation for the alankara shloka format. And that explanation has been given by Appayya Dikshita himself, as I told you, for Durga Chandrakala Stuti or any other stotram, Ratnatraya Pariksha, just as how he has written Swabhyakhya. In the same manner, here also Appayya Dikshita has written a vritti for his own, for those shlokas. But we are not reading the original vritti here. We will be reading the Vyakhyana Samanvaya, which follows the original vritti in many ways. Okay. And it's an easier one also. So I'll go to the first shloka. I'll mostly cover it. You have 50 shloka, 50 alankaras here. Most of these will be covered here. So the Mangala Charanam that we read was first Amari Kabari Bhara Brahmari Mukhari Kritam Duri Karotu Duritam Gauri Charanapankajam is the Mangala shloka here. Amari Kabari Bhara Brahmari Mukhari Kritam Gauri Charanapankajam Duritam Duri Karotu. May the lotus feet of Gauri, Gauryaha Charana Pankajam, Charanau eva Pankajam. So her 2 feet are, or Charanam eva Pankajam, Tat Charanam eva, Gauryaha Charanam eva, Asmakam, Duritam Duri Karotu. So Naha Duritam here is Papam. Let that lotus feet remove our sins here. And Duri Karotu. How the another Visheshana for this Gauri Charana Pankajam is Amari Kabari Bhara Brahmari Mukhari Kritam. Not only is that Charana Pankajam is that her feet, Gauri's feet are like lotus. It is also Mukhari Kritam. There is so much of sound near that lotus. Usually a lotus has so many bees that come there to take the nectar from the lotus. So here too, you find that there are so many people roaming around her lotus feet so that they can get that nectar like, moksha. Moksha eva tatra makaranda rupena vartate iti karanat sarve api tatra brahmari bhutva te tatra charaneshveva vartante charanayoho vartante, right? So they atra he actually not talks about the people as bees, but he says there are ladies who are falling at her feet. The Apsaras 3, Amari, Amaraha, Devaha. Amari ityukte Devanam Striyaha. So the Stri, which is Apsaras 3, or the wives of the Devas also, they are falling at her feet, or they are forever present at Devi's feet here. If you go to Bhupuram, all of them are waiting to serve Devi there. The description of Bhupuram and Shripuram or Bhupuram in Devi Bhagavatam is very beautiful there. So they're all just waiting at her feet so that they're waiting for her to look at them and give them a command. So Amari, Devastriyaha, Tatra Tasyaha, Charane eva Vartante. And those 3, their hair is so fragrant naturally. Kabari Bhara. Kabari here is Keshapasha. So in their Keshapasha, their hair, there is a natural fragrance that is there. And there are bees that are attracted towards this fragrant hair of those ladies who are at the feet of Devi. And that Brahmari, Mukhari, Kritam, and those bees are all constantly humming there. And Tadrisha Pankajam. So if we go over the Vyakhyana, we'll be reading this vritti completely. We won't just stop with the shloka itself. This gives a very simple explanation for the shlokas also. So it will be nice to go over that. Amarinam, Devastrinam, Kabari Bhareshu, Keshapasheshu, Saugandhya Lobhat. Out of a greed for the Saugandhyam, for the fragrance that is present in the Keshapasha, the hair locks of the Apsarastri or the Devastri. Yaha Brahmaryaha, atra Brahmari ityapi, female bees are being mentioned here. So Brahmaryaha, Tabihi Mukhari Kritam. I can only think of Tripura Sundari Manasa Puja Stotram. There, the description and all, when Devi is inside the Antahpuram, there's so many ladies who are standing there. All of them are all in higher positions and they come there to serve her. One brings a comb for her to comb her hair. The other brings out something. All of these people are like Paricharika for Devi there. So Brahmaryaha, the female bees which are samsrishtaha. They are constantly present near the hair of the ladies because it is naturally fragrant there. Mukhareekritam, tabihi mukhareekritam, brahmaribihi mukhareekritam. Mukhareekritam ityukte amukharam mukharam kritam. Tatra tu dhvanireva nasti, parantu brahmaraha yada atra agacchati or brahmaryaha yada agachanti tadatu tatra mukharam jatam. Tari dhvani yuktam jatam. Charanam eva pankajam. Atra mayura vyamsakaditvat samasaha. This is also a rupakam here, wherein you are saying that her feet are like a lotus or her foot is like a lotus. Why only one foot, innur foot illyan kekka mudiyadhu? It is in the Virasanam. So one foot is down, one foot is up. Akhilandeshwari pathomna, she is like that. Akhilandeshwari or yaro or ambal abdi irpa. So athava charanam pankajam iva iti upamita samasah. Usually this kind of upamita samasam is not possible. Upamita samasam is only possible with the sadharana dharma as the second padam in a samasta padam. This is usually not possible, so that's why we take it as charanameva pankajam iti. अथवा पंकज सदृशं चरणं दुरितं दूरीकरोतु विनाशयतु दुरितं इति पापं विनाशयतु प्रार्थनायां लोट. So there is a प्रार्थना रूप मंगलाचरणं. मंगलाचरणं can be of three types. One is प्रार्थना आशीर्वाद, the ashiratmakam, the other is vastu nirdeshah vapi tanmukham. So it could also be vastu nirdesham, but this is more like a प्रार्थना रूप mangala shloka. Okay. Any doubts with this shloka? Okay.
For the lakshana shlokas and all, can we remember, if we remember shlokas from previous levels like Abhinya or Vichakshana, can we quote those?
Lakshana va lakshya va. Lakshana is definition. Lakshya vande. So if you want to quote shlokas from the earlier text, as long as lakshana samanvayastu tatra kartavyaha eva.
Okay.
As long as you are able to do the lakshana samanvayam, you need the lakshana, and if the lakshana samanvayam you can do, if upamaka you don't remember hamsiva krishnate kirtihi swargangam avagahate nyabollenna, you can take bilamagnav ivorago and do it. Why not? Utprekshaka kaiki shankayevaha palitachadmana jara. It's okay. No problem. Paraspara tapassampat paraspara phalayito prapancha mata pitaro prancho jayapati stumaha. This is the second Mangala shloka. Actually, in the original you have totally 4 shlokas in the original Appayya Dikshita's Kuvalayananda. Here he has actually cut short and taken only these 2 shlokas. Atra Jayapati Stumaha. Jayapati, wife, and Pati, husband. So both of them Stumaha. Jayacha Patihi cha Jayapati. Tari atra tu Parvati Parameshwara eva. Pranchau Jayapati. They are the first and foremost, or the most ancient 2 people. Prapancha Mata Pitaro. They are also the Mata and Pita for the world. Prapanchasya Mata Pitru Rupena Parvati and Parameshwara are existing, but the first line is very interesting. Paraspara tapas sampat phalayita parasparo. Parasparo, both of them. Phalayita, one is the phalabhutam, phalayitam phalamiva acharati. So one phalavat acharitam. One became the prayojanam for the other person's tapas. Parasparam, they were doing tapas. So parasparam tapaha kritam. Tatra tapas sampat vartate. It is not just that they did tapas today and tomorrow they didn't do. Nathata. Atrato, they were doing tapas for a long time. Parameshwara waited until Parvati was born to do his tapas. Parvati could not attain Parameshwara immediately as soon as she was born, nor could she attain him because of her beauty. She had to perform a tapas also to get Parameshwara. So, Paraspara tapas sampat. Tapaha tu atra sampadrupena vartate. Right? So it is like a wealth of penance that both of them did. And as a result of that penance, whatever penance you do, there is a phalabhutam tu tatra kimapi bhavitavyameva. Kin tatra phalam? Phalam tu parasparameva. Parvati tapasaha phalantu parameshwaraha. Parameshwarasya tapas sampadam phalantu parvati eva. So paraspara tapas sampad phalayita phalavatu acharitam. Parasparasya anyonyasya tapas sampadaha. The sampadaha here is in Shashti here. So parasparam, the tapas or the penance that they both of them did, for that wealth of penance, phalayitam, phalavatu acharitam, that which became a fruit of that tapas, is parasparam anyonya swarupam eva yayoho tau. Parvati tapassamti sampatti phalayitaha parameshwaraha. Parvatya kritam tapaha. tat tapaha eva sampat. Tasya sampattehe phalabhutam or phalavat acharitaha yaha parameshwaraha. Is it clear? So Parameshwara has become the fruit of Parvati's tapas, and Parvati, Parameshwara tapas sampatti phalayita cha Parvati. Prapanchasya sarvasyapi mata pitarau janikartarau, those who are responsible for Srishti. How only Brahma is responsible for Srishti, Vishnu is responsible for Tatha nasti atra janikartaro ityukte for Brahma bhavena tatra they are responsible for Janma or the Srishti also. All three of them are responsible for all of these three actions when you look at them with respect to Brahman. Adhara bhuta brahmatvena yadi pashyamaha tarhi. So hitakarino, not the mata pitarau can also not mean just those who actually on the shlokam Brahmanana. If you go to Bhaskar Raya's commentary, the first shloka for Sri Mata, Sri Maharagnin irukku, the Sri Mata la gives a very beautiful shloka. There are so many different janmas that I have taken, and there have been so many different mothers and who have given birth to me, but the only mother who is constant in all of those births is you. Tasmat devyaha tu prathaman nama Shri Mata iti. Hitakari, she is the one who is the most beneficial, both of them, of course. So Prancho Puratanau Jayapati Dampati. A Dampati is a word formed from Jaya and Pati. You cannot split Dampati into singular or anything. Idha Neelakanta Dikshithar solvar. Adanna Kim Dampati miti bruyam utaho Dampati iti. First line marandu viduthe chattana. In Neelakanta Vijaya Champu, he starts off by saying, see, I see only one form in front of me. It is an Ardhanari Swarupa. So when I look at them, how do I call him? Do I say Dampati iti, Utaho Dampati iti? Is it in singular or do I say it in dual? If I say it in dual, then yes, Vyakarana Shuddham, kintu Pratiksha Asiddham Tatra. It Pratiksha Viruddham Vartate. What I see is only one Swarupa, I cannot use Dvivachanam. But Dampati Shabdasya tu, it is only in Dvivachanam. Then Vyakarana Ritya tu tatra Apabramshaha. So how do I satisfy this? Nobody can give an answer for him. That is Neelakanta Dikshita. Appayya Dikshita will be a little bit more strict in his shlokas. His humor is very less. Neelakanta Dikshita will be very humorous in his writings. Jayapati, Dampati, Parvati, Parameshwarau, Stumaha, Stotram Kurmaha, Stauti, Stutaha, Stuvanti. So in that you will have Uttama Purusha, Bahuvachana, Stumaha. Stotrena cha Namrata Pratiyate iti Namaskriatmakam Mangalam. So the first Mangala was Prarthanatmakam. The next one is Namaskriatmakam Mangala. So yeah. Granthasya Vishaya Prayojanam, we'll start from this next class. Okay.